Every financial problem people face in America explained. Credit card debt. Credit card debt is a serious challenge for millions of Americans. It's easy to accumulate because many use credit cards for everyday purchases, vacations, and even emergencies. However, high interest rates, often over 20%, make it tough to pay off balances. Many people get stuck paying only the minimum amount each month, which barely covers the interest and leads to long-term debt that can be nearly impossible to escape. This type of debt negatively impacts credit scores, makes it difficult to take out loans, and can result in significant stress and anxiety for those affected. Student loan debt. Student loan debt is one of the biggest financial burdens for young adults in America. The cost of college has skyrocketed, leaving many students graduating with tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. The total student loan debt in the US exceeds $1.7 trillion. This debt can take decades to pay off, and for many, it delays other major life events like buying a house or starting a family. The monthly payments can be particularly overwhelming for those entering fields with lower starting salaries, making it difficult to get ahead financially. Medical bills. Healthcare in the US is extremely expensive, even for those with insurance. High deductibles and out-of-pocket costs mean that a trip to the doctor or a hospital stay can result in thousands of dollars in medical bills. For people without insurance, these costs can be devastating. Medical debt is a leading cause of bankruptcy in America, and many people face the difficult choice of whether to seek medical treatment or avoid care because they can't afford the bills. This problem can also lead to stress and financial hardship as families struggle to pay for essential healthcare while managing other expenses. Housing costs. The cost of housing has become a major financial challenge for millions of Americans. In many cities, both rents and home prices have risen dramatically, making it difficult for people to find affordable places to live. For renters, monthly payments can consume a significant portion of their income, leaving little left for savings or other expenses. Homeowners face high mortgage payments, property taxes, and maintenance costs. As wages have stagnated and housing costs have continued to rise, many people are forced to live in smaller or less desirable areas or even consider moving to more affordable regions. Lack of emergency savings. Many Americans live without any sort of financial cushion to cover unexpected expenses. A survey by the Federal Reserve found that nearly half of Americans would have trouble covering a $400 emergency without borrowing money or selling something. Without savings, an unexpected car repair, medical bill, or home repair can send a household into financial turmoil. Many people are forced to turn to credit cards or high-interest loans to cover these costs, which can lead to a cycle of debt and make it even harder to save for future emergencies. Living paycheck to paycheck. Living paycheck to paycheck is a reality for a large percentage of Americans. This means that their income is entirely used up by the time the next paycheck arrives, with little or no room for saving or unexpected expenses. This creates a constant state of financial vulnerability where any disruption in income, such as a job loss or a reduction in hours, can lead to serious financial trouble. People in this situation often feel trapped, unable to get ahead or plan for the future, and face constant stress about making ends meet. Retirement savings shortfall. Many Americans are not saving enough for retirement, and for some, saving for retirement isn't even possible due to financial constraints. With the decline of pensions and uncertainty surrounding Social Security, it's becoming increasingly important for individuals to save for their own retirement. However, many people find it difficult to set aside money for retirement when they're struggling to cover immediate expenses. This could lead to financial hardship in their later years when they are no longer able to work and rely solely on their savings and social benefits for income. Job instability. Job instability is another common financial problem in America. With the rise of gig economy jobs, freelance work, and part-time employment, many people lack the security of a steady paycheck. Layoffs, industry shifts, and economic downturns can leave people without work for extended periods, making it difficult to pay bills or plan for the future. Those working in temporary or contract positions often don't receive benefits like health insurance or retirement plans, which can further exacerbate financial stress. Inflation and cost of living. Inflation has been a growing concern in recent years as the cost of everyday goods and services continues to rise. Wages have not kept pace with inflation, which means that many Americans are finding it more difficult to afford basic necessities like groceries, healthcare, and housing. This widening gap between income and expenses forces many households to cut back on discretionary spending or dip into savings just to cover their essential needs. Over time, this can lead to financial instability as people struggle to keep up with the rising cost of living. Credit score problems. A person's credit score is a crucial factor in determining their financial opportunities, from securing loans to renting apartments. Many Americans have poor or damaged credit scores due to missed payments, high credit card balances, or other financial issues. A low credit score can lead to higher interest rates on loans, making borrowing more expensive, or result in outright denials for loans, credit cards, or rental applications. Rebuilding a credit score takes time, patience, and financial resources, making it difficult for people who are already struggling to improve their situation. High childcare costs. Childcare is one of the largest expenses for working families in America. The cost of daycare, preschool, or after-school care can be as high as rent or a mortgage in some areas, especially in cities. Many parents are forced to make difficult choices, like cutting back on work hours or leaving the workforce entirely because the cost of childcare outweighs the financial benefits of working. This issue puts a significant strain on family budgets and can make it challenging to save for other long-term financial goals, like buying a home or investing in retirement. Insurance premiums. Insurance is a necessary expense for most Americans, but the cost of premiums, whether for health, auto, home, or life insurance, can be a significant financial burden. Many people find themselves struggling to keep up with their insurance payments, and high deductibles or out-of-pocket costs can make using insurance expensive when they need it most. Skimping on insurance can save money in the short term, but it leaves people vulnerable to financial disaster in the event of an accident, illness, or other emergencies. Personal loan debt. Personal loans are often used to consolidate debt, cover large expenses, or deal with financial emergencies. However, if not managed properly, personal loans can become a source of financial strain. Many loans come with high interest rates, especially for borrowers with less than perfect credit. Without a solid repayment plan, personal loans can add another layer of debt to an already stressful financial situation, leading to increased monthly payments and more difficulty managing other expenses. Cost of education for children. For parents, the rising cost of education is a major concern. Whether they're saving for their child's college tuition or paying for private school, education expenses can take a significant toll on a family's budget. College costs in particular have risen dramatically over the past few decades, making it difficult for families to save enough to cover tuition, room and board, and other expenses. Many parents face the prospect of taking out loans or relying on financial aid to help cover these costs, which can create additional financial stress. Rising utility costs. Utilities like electricity, gas, water, and internet are essential for daily life, but the cost of these services has been rising steadily in recent years. In areas with extreme weather, heating and cooling costs can be particularly high, leading to unexpectedly large utility bills. For low-income families, the rising cost of utilities can eat into already tight budgets, making it difficult to keep up with payments. Falling behind on utility bills can lead to disconnection of services, which can have serious consequences, especially during extreme weather conditions. Auto loan debt. Owning a car is a necessity for many Americans, especially in areas with limited public transportation. However, the cost of buying and maintaining a vehicle can be a significant financial burden. Auto loans, in particular, often come with high monthly payments and long repayment terms. Many people end up paying more in interest than they initially borrowed, and for those with poor credit, the interest rates can be exorbitant. The cost of repairs, insurance, and fuel adds to the financial strain, making car ownership a challenge for many families. Tax debt. Unpaid taxes are a financial problem that can have serious consequences. Many people underestimate their tax liability or fail to set aside enough money to cover their taxes, particularly if they're self-employed or have multiple sources of income. When taxes go unpaid, interest and penalties can quickly add up, making it even more difficult to pay off the debt. Cost of groceries. The rising cost of groceries is a challenge for many American families, especially as food prices have increased significantly in recent years. Staples like meat, dairy, and fresh produce have become more expensive, making it harder for families to afford healthy, nutritious meals. Many people are forced to buy cheaper, less healthy options, which can lead to long-term health issues. For those living in food deserts, areas with limited access to affordable, healthy food, the problem is even more pronounced, as they may need to travel long distances to buy groceries or rely on fast food and convenience stores.